The battle in Serenity Pines. The morning sun filtered through my garage door in Serenity Pines, Florida, where I was polishing my old Colt 1911, a relic from 30 years of military service. I'm Colonel Robert Hayes, retired, and this was supposed to be my quiet retirement routine. Coffee cooling on the workbench, the faint smell of gun oil, and a mockingbird chirping across the street. But that peace shattered when 3 armed men stormed through my half-open garage door, barking orders like I was a criminal caught red-handed. "Drop your weapon, Hayes," the leader shouted, flashing a badge. My blood boiled. Who were these clowns invading my home? Their uniforms screamed authority, but something was off. Cheap fabric, laminated badges, and a posture that tried too hard to look tough. Then their leader, a slick-haired guy calling himself Captain Daniel Reed, dropped a bombshell, classified details from my Iraq deployment, intel no civilian should have. My fists clenched. Someone powerful was coming for me, and what unfolded next would unravel a conspiracy that shook my quiet neighborhood to its core. The 3 men stood in my garage, their leader, Reed, holding a clipboard with official-looking forms. "Colonel Hayes, I'm with Serenity Pines HOA Security Enforcement," he said, his voice dripping with rehearsed confidence. "We're here about your firearms registration compliance." Behind him, 2 others stood like wannabe bodyguards, their eyes darting nervously. I noticed Ellen Carver, our HOA president, stepping out from behind a neighbor's hedge, her silver hair perfect, her designer suit screaming money. She was a former prosecutor, sharp as a tack, with a smile that could charm or chill. "Mr. Hayes," she said smoothly, "we're ensuring community safety." Then she hit me with something that stopped me cold. "Your background check shows a 2017 Article 15 disciplinary action." My head snapped up. That was classified military info, a minor paperwork issue from my service, not public record. How did she know? I played along, keeping my cool. "Ma'am, how exactly did you access my military file?" Her smile didn't waver. "Thorough verification for high-risk residents, Mr. Hayes." The situation reeked of a setup. Their uniforms were polyester knockoffs, their badges flimsy. Reed's clipboard had logos that looked legit from a distance, but screamed fake up close. I'd commanded soldiers for 3 decades. I could spot a fraud a mile away. Ellen's mention of my Article 15 wasn't just a flex, it was a threat. Something bigger was at play. My neighbor, Tom Rivera, a former Marine, lingered across the street, avoiding eye contact. Normally, we'd swap war stories, but today he looked like he'd seen a ghost. I made a mental note to dig into that later. For now, I leaned back, arms crossed. "All right, gentlemen, what's your proposal?" Reed's eyes lit up, thinking he'd won. "We need to inspect your property, review your firearms documentation, and interview neighbors about security concerns." Ellen chimed in, her voice icy. "We're ensuring Serenity Pines remains a safe haven, Mr. Hayes." The next day, Ellen escalated. She showed up with a measuring tape and a clipboard, treating my front yard like a crime scene. My neighbor, Sarah Thompson, a 60-year-old retiree, was filming it all on her phone, live streaming to her online followers. "Y'all, the HOA's back at Bob's place, acting like they own it," she narrated, her viewer count climbing. Ellen's demands grew absurd. Proof of firearm storage, safety certifications, and vague accusations of community unease about my military weapons. I owned 3 guns, my service pistol, a hunting rifle from my dad, and a shotgun, all locked in a safe worth more than my car. Military weapons? Laughable, if it wasn't so insulting. That evening, Ellen reserved the community clubhouse for a compliance hearing. The setup was surreal. A podium, rented chairs, and Reed playing judge in a sharp suit. 25 neighbors sat in judgment, primed by Ellen's slick slideshow claiming my military background threatened property values. Sarah's live stream captured it all, her audience eating up the drama. The hearing felt like a kangaroo court. Neighbors testified about seeing me clean my guns or hearing me mention my service. Normal stuff twisted into something sinister. Reed, with his theatrical poise, asked leading questions, while Ellen presented charts showing a 3% drop in property values since I moved in. Pure fiction, but convincing to a scared crowd. 60% voted me a security risk, demanding oversight. It stung. People I'd shared coffee with now saw me as a threat. Then I caught a break. Mid-hearing, Reed's dramatic gestures sparked a memory. That annoying mattress commercial on TV, the one with the guy dancing with a pillow. Your Honor, I interrupted. Aren't you the Sleep Haven beds guy? The room froze. Reed's judicial mask crumbled. Okay. Yes, I do commercials, he stammered. I'm an actor with an MFA. Ellen hired me for a corporate training gig, not a real hearing. The crowd gasped. Sarah's stream exploded, viewers calling it Judge Judy meets reality TV. Ellen tried to salvage her case, but the damage was done. Her authority unraveled as neighbors questioned her motives. That night, I dug into her past. Ellen Carver, retired federal prosecutor, moved to Florida 18 months ago, flush with cash that didn't add up. A call to the VA security hotline confirmed my suspicions, a pattern of data breaches targeting veterans, linked to a fired VA employee, Walter Grayson. 7 commanders from my old unit had faced similar harassment. This wasn't personal, it was a coordinated attack. The next morning, Ellen returned, doubling down with a fake psychological report claiming I had authority resistance syndrome. But before I could respond, my phone buzzed with a text from Agent Laura Bennett. FBI, do not comply. Federal agents are 30 minutes out. The feds arrived like a storm, led by Agent Bennett, a no-nonsense investigator in her 40s. Colonel Hayes, we've been tracking this network for 8 months, she said. Ellen's operation was a multi-state fraud, raking in $156,000 through fake fees and property scams, targeting 12 veterans across 5 states. Ellen had embezzled $47,000 from a Gold Star charity to fund it, using her grief over her son, Lieutenant Michael Carver, to mask her motives. Michael had died under my command in Iraq, saving a village school from a suicide bomber. Ellen blamed me, believing his sacrifice for non-Americans was meaningless. I handed her Michael's final letter, written the night before he died, praising his mission to protect innocent lives. She read it, tears falling, but her anger held firm. He was my boy, and you sent him to die, she spat. The courtroom in Tampa was a far cry from Ellen's fake tribunal. Judge Margaret Lawson, a seasoned jurist, laid out Ellen's crimes, fraud, embezzlement, and harassment. But she saw the grief driving Ellen's actions. Your son's sacrifice deserves honor, not this, Lawson said, sentencing Ellen to community service at VA hospitals, grief counseling, and restitution, sparing her prison. I presented Michael's mission reports, including testimonials from Iraqi families who'd named their school after him. Ellen broke down, realizing her son's heroism was celebrated, not forgotten. The community began healing. Mediation replaced disputes, and Sarah's live stream sparked national legislation to protect veterans. Ellen's apology, published nationwide, admitted her wrongs and pledged to help military families. 2 years later, my garage became the Lieutenant Michael Carver Veteran Protection Center, a hub for fraud prevention and veteran advocacy. Ellen, transformed, ran Operation New Dawn, using her legal skills to fight veteran harassment. Sarah became an investigative journalist, her footage shaping federal policy. Tom Rivera, freed from Ellen's blackmail, advocated for immigrant veterans. The center displayed Michael's Bronze Star alongside stories of the veterans we'd helped. When a Navy commander in Oregon called about a similar HOA scam, I grabbed my keys, touched Michael's display, and smiled. We're going to protect you, I told her, ready to fight the next battle. The truth doesn't bend to fear or manipulation. It waits, steady as stone, to expose lies and protect those who serve. Michael's legacy lives in every veteran we shield from fraud and betrayal. What do you think? Did Ellen go too far, or was her grief a justification? Have you faced injustice or manipulation in your community? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's debate how we confront violence and unfairness in our lives, and how we honor those who sacrifice for others.